Hey everybody, this is Mickey here. I'm here to give my analysis of my interview with Mr. Dennis Weber, who is, like I said, he's actually a doctoral candidate for Southeastern University as well. Some of the takeaways that I got from his interview were very profound as well. And the first one was part of being a leader is being a servant leader. I think one of the things that many leaders get away from as they become more successful, sometimes especially, is they forget their principles of being a leader and where they stand with Christ. And I think that's a huge mistake that some leaders make. And everything you do, you're in service to others, and that includes not just living a Christian lifestyle, but you're there to help the people that you work with. You're not there to tell them what to do per se. You're there to lead, and you can't lead unless you're doing with a servant mentality. Another thing that I got from the interview was the fact of lifelong learning from different leaders and from different backgrounds. You can learn so much from so many different leadership styles, regardless of what industry that you're in. And that's one of the things that I always look at because I know I referenced the coaching aspect of it, but the coaching aspect did really prepare myself, and Mr. Weber felt that it prepared him as well for leading a school atmosphere. The other thing is, though, too, when you look into Stephen Covey and the others as well, and Maxwell, they come from different backgrounds, but you can really look at these other leaders who have written books as well, and excuse me, and you can look into what makes them good leaders, because I feel like leadership is one of those qualities. It encompasses every type of leadership scenario. So that was another thing that I got from the interview. Another thing that Mr. Weber brought up: if your principles are driven by your faith, you can be more confident in your decision making. And that's the thing, is if you live your faith, you can make decisions and know that, and you can live with those decisions, and you can know moving forward that even though some might not agree with you and some might question you, if you use your decisions in order to base your principles and how you make your decision and the process that you get to that point, you can be fairly confident that those decisions are good decisions. Another thing that is something I struggle with, I know personally, because of all my personal conflicts I've had. Those who know me really well know that I go through some scenarios that are out of my control, but they're things I have to live with on a personal level. But a work-life balance is very important for any leader. One of the things that I really try to make sure I do is work out regularly, and especially being as busy as we are, being doctoral students. I not only have my full-time job, I have my side job as well, teaching master's courses, but I also have my daughter 50% of the time. That work-life balance is important, but it also helps you as a leader, keep what's important in the forefront, but also helps you to stay healthy. And a body and mind that is healthy is also more capable of making good decisions. So the other thing that he brought up, and I brought up this as well, was be honest with yourself. Be honest. Don't worry about being politically correct. Be honest with what you believe and stick to what you know. Don't do things because they're politically correct, or so and so might view that as a better decision. Make decisions that wholeheartedly that you are being honest with yourself, and that you are able to make those decisions and not question them. And the other thing is too, it's okay to make mistakes as a leader. I can tell you I've made countless errors and mistakes. But the thing is, though, too, at the time, if you're living your, what you believe to be true, even though you can look back and think those are, and know that those are mistakes, if you have lived with what with what you believe, you can still grow from making those decisions, even though they were bad decisions. So make sure that it's okay to make a mistake as a leader. It's very rarely is it fatal, And one of the things I even learned is when you make a mistake, 99% of the time, those mistakes are correctable, if they need to be. Another point that was brought up was, to be a good leader, you must be humble. which means you can't lead by looking down on others. And that's one thing I think some leaders forget is, man, no one likes someone who's just kind of a jerk, and some leaders get that reputation. And that makes it harder to lead them and reflect on what it is that you're doing to lead and make sure everyone is getting their input. But also, too, they need to be able to look with you and respect you. And if you're not nice to them, they're not going to like you. So it's hard, as a leader, you need to lead in a way that not only stands up for what you believe, but also, glorifies God as well. So another thing is leadership takes different forms. It's not just talking. You hear the term talk the talk and walk the walk, but there is something that can be said about that. You need to lead by an example as well. And, I kind of already mentioned this, but the last point I always want to make sure that leaders always realize it's okay to have flaws. All right. Nobody's perfect. The thing is, though, as a leader, you need to lead. It's okay to make mistakes, but move forward regardless of whatever those decisions are. I hope everyone's doing well and they've worked through this interview. I personally found the interview to be very fun. I even got some students and a teacher involved in the process to kind of spiffy it up a little bit, if you will, and make it look somewhat professional. So I hope all of y'all had fun with this, and I look forward to reading through and watching everyone else's interviews as well. I hope all of y'all are having a great day. Bye.